Hello, 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 everyone. This is your favorite Murtad live once again. And today we have a very, very important subject. Before we go into subject, Salam al Masih, peace of Christ be with each and every one of you. If you have not shared the video with your friends and family, now is the time to share it because this live stream is going to give you almost all the information that is required to show you the birth narrative of Muhammad. The birth narrative of Muhammad is very, very important because if there is a greatest prophet of all time, we need to know how that greatest prophet was born. Is it it is not something that we should say, hey, however he was born, it doesn't matter. It does matter because he's supposedly the greatest prophet of all time, even greater than Isa, greater than Musa, like the Moses or Jesus or Job or Isaac or David or every prophet that came. He's supposed to be the greatest prophet of all time. And if we have such a great prophet of all time, we should know his birth narrative. This video of mine that I made in Pakistan in Urdu channel first was banned in Pakistan. While my video was banned in Pakistan, a mufti made a refutation video. He made the refutation video while my video was banned in Pakistan. So I created another video with the references that he asked me to provide, which he said that I will not be able to provide till the day of judgment. Once I provided those references, that video got banned in Pakistan again as well. Then I made a shorter video and put it up, and then I told each and every follower of mine in Pakistan and India to publish this video in their own channels. So by doing that, my third video was published in over 20 channels. Over 20 channels where I showed and I proved the birth narrative of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even though my third video was also banned in Pakistan, yet there are over 20 channels in which my video is there. So now I am going to make this video, which was done in 3 parts in my Pakistani channel. I will do that in one single part over here in my English channel. You will have all the truth and nothing but the truth and all the information that you will see from their own Islamic narrative. Not my narrative, not a Christian narrative, but the Islamic narrative. When we go into the Islamic narrative, we of the birth of Muhammad, we have to go into the Kutub, means the books of the Sirah, which are the life of Muhammad. There are over 40 books of life of Muhammad which has been published in the world so far. Muslim apparently have to denounce almost all of them. They don't kind of accept, kind of, because they pick and choose. They pick and choose anything that they like and they reject everything that they do not like in those videos. For example, in the Sirah's books. For example, Hazrat Khatija, the first wife of Muhammad, was 40 years old. This is a narrative that you will find in the Sirah Kutub, and this narrative has no chain of narrators. None, zero, nada. But this narrative is taken from those Sirah books. Why? Because it kind of gives Muhammad the excuse to marry a 9 years old Aisha, because they say, look, Muhammad married a 40 years old woman who was pre-married twice, and she was 40 and Muhammad was only 25. So what's the problem when he married a 9 years old girl? Rather a baby girl. But what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the collection from those Sirah books and some of the Ahadith books which has the chain of narrations, which has chain. And the same Sirah books from where the Muftis came back and they showed me the refutation. So I am going to use the books and the narratives which Islamic scholars actually accept. Nothing out of it. Yet they will have to pick and choose, and they will have to say that the matan of certain things are wrong. For what? How? How did you find that out? It's a book of history. Okay, so you don't even know how your greatest prophet was born? Seriously? But this is the reality. So without any delay, I am going to go into this particular subject, and you will going to be amazed what I'm going to show you, because you will not find this in the things that I'm just going to show you, but you will find this in so many other places that you will be amazed. You will be amazed. So without any further delay, let's move into our subject. And our subject is the birth narrative of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Muhammad, where should I start? There are so many of the references. But anyhow, let's start with the first narrative. The first narrative is Muhammad was very, very angry. Now you need to understand this a very important point. When somebody exalts his lineage, the lineage, his ancestors, Muhammad got very, very angry. Let me give you the first narrative. I'm going to share my screen right over here. This is the first narrative. It is narrated by Ubay ibn Ka'b, Harbul Ummah, that a man, Harbul Ummah, the pen of the Ummah, right? The Harb and the pen of Ummah, Kalma Ummah. A man boosted in an ignorant manner of his tribal lineage. So he told him to bite his father's male member, i.e., the P between the two legs of his father, and he did not use a metaphor. So he was not saying it metaphorically. The people looked at him, so he said to the people, I can see what you are thinking, and I can only say this, that the messenger of Allah instructed us if you hear someone boasting in ignorant manner of his tribal lineage, then tell him to bite his father's male member, i.e., the P and the nas between the two legs of his father. And do not use the metaphor. So, Messenger of Allah was very, very angry when somebody was exalting their lineage. Why? We are going to find that out today. Then another hadith, this is narrated Ahmad 35155, classified as Hassan. It was narrated from Ubay that a man boasted in his tribal lineage, and Ubay told him to bite his father's male member, and they said, you were never given to obscene speech. He said, we were instructed to do that by the Prophet Muhammad, narrated 35142, classified as Hassan. And then we have a couple of other. This is islamqa.info. Now, why would Muhammad do such a huge foul speech? So, Muhammad, who is supposedly a person who is the final prophet of Islam, rather final prophet, who is giving such beautiful information to us, and he is the role model of each and every person of the world. Why would he use such derogatory terminologies for somebody who is boosting in his tribal lineage? This is also written in Ahmad 9777. So Musnad Ahmad 9777, you will not find it in sunnah.com. So I'm going to give you. Here it says this. And I'm going to copy that. Let me tell you what the Urdu says. This is the Urdu translation. When one of you sees a person who would exalt himself because of the lineage before Islam, then do not use a metaphor and say to him, go and bite the private part, the male member, the P of the between the legs of his father. This hadith is classified as Sahih, authentic. The Arabic reference is 9737. Okay. Now, so we see multiple locations where Muhammad said that, but where this hadith has been narrated. So we can go to translate.google.com and we can put that in. You have heard of those who are glorified by the morning of the Jahiliyyah, so join them and do not be using a metaphor and do what? Bite the, okay, so they are using it, join it, but Uzwa of his father, bite it. So go and bite it. Okay. Very, very straightforward without any reasoning. Now, was Muhammad accused of being from a bad lineage? Yes. Muhammad was accused from being a of being a person of bad lineage. According to Jalaluddin as-Sayyuti in the Durr Mansur, according to Jalaluddin as-Sayyuti in his Tafsir Durr Mansur, Juz 4 and Safa 330, it says, let me just, rather me doing that, let's try to see if Google Translator can give us something properly this time around. It had been reported to the Prophet that some people had abused him, i.e., they doubted his lineage. So he got angry and said, God brought me out from between two parents who had never met an incensed, who never did any wrongdoing. Okay. So Allah supposedly brought Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam out of two parents who were never bad. I'm gonna go to another location of Durre Mansur, Tafsir Durre Mansur. This is a Sayuti, not Durre Mansur, sorry. This is a Sayuti, okay? And this is this is Surah 9 and Ayah 128. 128. Surah 9, Ayah 128. Surah Toba, Ayah 100. Ayah means verse 128. Here again we see that people were accusing Muhammad from his lineage and he got angry. فَغَضَبَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. So Muhammad got very angry. And when he got very angry, when people were accusing him from a bad lineage, he said this. What did he say? Let's go there. He said, "O people," it says Allah, but here it is God. Allah created his creatures, and made them into two groups. Then he made me from the best of the two groups, the best of the two groups. Then he made them into tribes. So he made me a tribe in the best of them. So Allah created, when Allah created his creation, he created two groups. From the two groups, I am from the better group. And in the better group, Allah created tribes. And in those tribes, I am from the best of the tribe. And then he made them into houses. So and so he made me among the best of the house. So Muhammad by himself was exalting his lineage. Muhammad, you just saw, Muhammad said, go bite the private part of your father if somebody exalt himself by the lineage, the tribal lineage of his. Here you see Muhammad, mashallah, is exalting himself by his tribal lineage. Do you see a problem here? So, may I ask you people, did Muhammad himself told himself to not use a metaphor and go and bite the private part of his own father? Did he actually do that now? If not, then what should we call Muhammad right now? A hypocrite. A hypocrite. But people do not accept that. By the way, Muhammad's father is in hell. Muhammad's mother is in hell, as we know that. So because they are in hell, so they were from the Zamana Jahiliya, the time of ignorance. They were not Muslims. So Muhammad is exalting his own tribal lineage, his own lineage. Why do you think people were accusing Muhammad for being from a bad lineage? What makes you think that? Okay, let's start from a simple document, a simple article. Okay, and then I'm going to start showing you the references. Okay, but before references, I'm going to read a article because this is going to be in English. Most of the things that I'm going to show you today, they are in Arabic or in Urdu. You will not find these things very easily in English. If you will be able to find these references in English, that will be a wow moment. But most of these references, you will not find it in English because they do not want to translate them in English because it is such disturbing. Now, let's look at the first article And I will go into the references of each and every article. This is the Friday sermon that was given on May 4, 2018. Christians do Sunday sermon, Muslims do Friday sermon. So this is an article from Al Islam. This is a, and whatever they preach on a Friday, they put it on their website. This is the Friday sermon of May 4, 2018. Today is March of 2022. So it's almost 4 years old article. Now, let's look at it. He's talking about Muhammad, the background, and he's talking about Hamza. Who is Hamza? Let's read. Hazrat Hamza, Hazrat Hamza was the son of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib is the grandfather of Muhammad. So Muhammad, then his father Abdullah, then Abdullah's father Abdul Muttalib. Once again, Muhammad, his father Abdullah, and then his grandfather Abdul Muttalib. So Hamza is the son of Abdul Muttalib. So Hamza is uncle of Muhammad as well. The leader of the Quraysh and the parental uncle of the Messenger of Allah. Right? He is the parental uncle of Messenger of Allah. The name of the mother of Hazrat Hamza was Hala. Hala is the mother of Hamza and the grandmother of Muhammad. One of the grandmother of Muhammad, because Abdul Muttalib had apparently bare minimum three wives. Okay, who was also the parental cousin of Prophet Muhammad's mother, because Hala was the cousin of Hazrat Amina. Hala was the cousin of Amina, who was the mother of Muhammad as well. So imagine the granddad and the dad married two cousins. So the granddad of Muhammad and the daddy of Muhammad married cousins. That's point number two. Was 2 years older. So Hazrat Hamza was 2 years older than the Holy Prophet. Hazrat Hamza was 2 years older than the Holy Prophet, or 4 years according to other narrations. So there are double narrations. Some says that Hamza was 4 years older than Muhammad. Some says Hamza was 2 years older than Muhammad. Nobody says they were of the equal age. Guys, please tell me if you guys are with me. This is a topic which, unless you go in the flow, you will not able to comprehend fully, because nobody is going to come out and state the obvious. Okay, and I'm going to state the obvious, obviously. Now imagine that both of these guys, Abdullah, the father of Muhammad, and the grandfather of Muhammad, Abdul Muttalib, married on the same day. Okay, let's see. It should be here as well. Let's see. Mm. So now we will see that they married on the same day, and I forgot where it is saying that, but it is here somewhere. Okay, if not in this article, we'll find. I have so many articles to show you that. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Seems like I just lost where it is. I read it in this article, but seems like sometimes when we are doing live stream, things do not fit in the perfect order. But that's okay. No worries. Okay. Anyhow, let's go. Forget the La La Land. I think I went into La La Land. Forget that article. Let's see. Let's go to another La La Land, because this is sometimes things do not come as they should right there and then. Uh, so anyhow, they married in the same day. Let's see in another article. Let's go bring up another article. This is another article by a Muslim. It is also Hazrat Abdul Muttalib and Hazrat Hamza. Let's zoom in that article a little. The loin of Allah and the martyrs of the martyr. Okay, okay. Here we see Hamza was only 2 years older than Muhammad. Hamza was only 2 years older than Muhammad, and Rob Christian just said, "You are finished." Yes, man, I am always finished. No worries. Welcome to the live chat. La La Land. So he was 2 years older than Muhammad, according to just this one. Okay. And there was a female who nursed both of them. So Zubair narrated that Hamza was 4 years older than Prophet, but this does not seem correct because reliable hadith state that Tayyiba nursed both Hamza and the Prophet. Hence, they can be only 2 years. But like if Tayyiba nursed both of them, was she nursing both of them at the same time or at different times? How is it possible that she was not nursing on different times? Right? So 4 years narration is also true if Taiba, one lady, was nursing them. There are hadiths in Tabaqat Ibn Sa'd for that, but forget that. Ibn Sa'id concluded that Hamza was 2 years older than Muhammad rather than 4 years, as Zubair claimed. But anyhow, so Hamza was born 2 or 4 years before Muhammad. Now, Ibn Hajar Asqalani, one of the great Hurbul Ummah, right, says in finding the truth in the judging the companions of Prophet Muhammad, right? This is an 11-part book. I have downloaded that. I have to read all of them. Writes that Hamza was born 2 or 4 years before Muhammad. Hamza was born 2 or 4 years before Muhammad, right? Hamza 2 or 4 years. Okay, whatever. 2 or 4 years. Now, if Muhammad was 2 or 4 years older than Muhammad, and both Abdul Muttalib and Abdullah, the father and the grandfather, were both married on the same day in a double marriage ceremony. Guys, Abdullah and his grandfather Abdul Muttalib married in a double marriage ceremony. So if Muhammad is 2 years younger, or Hamza is 2 years older than Muhammad, then it means Muhammad cannot be born right after 9 months of the marriage. He cannot be. He has to be born much later, either 2 years later, 2 years, 9 months later, because if Hamza is conceived by the mother of Hamza right at the time of the marriage, after 9 months, Hamza comes out. For Muhammad to be at least 2 years older than Hamza, he has to be conceived 2 years after the marriage, and then another 9 months he has to come out to be 2 years older than Hamza. Do you understand this whole narrative? If yes, then we can go next. By the way, this is such a stupidity that the father and the grandfather are being married in the same day. That's like, imagine that. Duh. But anyhow, forget that part. So Muhammad is getting married in this way. I'll go to Quran 434, Rob Christian, don't worry, at a later time. Okay, now we see this double marriage. Muhammad has to be conceived 2 years later and be born approximately 3 years after the marriage of his father. This is the basic narrative. Okay, now based on this premises, we are going to see what the things are saying. Now this narrative, we are going to look into where the sources of these narratives are. This book is Mustarad al-Hakim, and this is the hadith number 6163. 6163. 6163, and we read, Muhammad bin Saleh, Sana al-Husayn bin al-Fazil, Sana who's been Khalifa, Sana Auf and Saeed and Hassan, etc., 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 etc. And then they talk about something, but forget that. What we need to read here is okay. We have to read 6162. 6162 is what we are going to read, in which it says that Abu Huraira, who is the basic hadith narrator, he is one of the biggest hadith narrator in the history of hadith narrations in the Sunni Islam. In Sunni Islam, Abu Huraira is supposed to be called as one of the major narrator of hadith, because if you read sunnah.com, Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari, you will see so many hadiths. I think over 40% hadiths coming from Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira says here that I have read or known so many ahadith from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hafiztu min al hadisi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ahadisa ma hatsakum biha. But I do not give it to you. I do not tell it to you. Why? Because if I tell you all those ahadiths, you will going to rajam me. You will going to rajam me. What does rajam means? Rajam means you will stone me to death. You will stone me to death. So Abu Huraira is saying that if I will give you all the ahadiths that I know and memorized, you will stone me to death. Imagine that. That he was scared. Why was he scared? Because of what I'm going to show you now. And that's why you will not find that in the ahadith references of Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Because the people at that time were so scared of telling the ahadiths and the references, because they thought they will be killed, they will be stoned to death. This is hadith number 6162, and it is saying that Hazal hadith sahih al asnad. This hadith is sahih in asnad, in the chain. This is hadith is sahih in chain. That Abu Huraira is saying that you will do rajam on me. You will stone me to death if I tell you all the references that I know of Muhammad. You will stone me to death. This is hadith number 6162. And this book, this page is 252. And this book is Mustadrak al-Hakim or al-Sahihain. Okay. And this is volume number 5 of this book. So anyone who claims and tells you and say, why can't we find this information in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim? This is the reference. Now, Algebra said, when all my wives work together, they finish a task in 3 days. When 3 of my work, they finish it in 4 days. How many wives I have? Am I a Muslim? Algebra, that's a very good algebraical question. So I will try to answer that once Allah Mia's algebra and mathematics will be good enough. Thank you for your super chat. Sirat al-Mustaqim said, Salam al-Masih, Brother Adam, Brother Rob, and all the apologetic team. Thank you so very much, Sirat al-Mustaqim, for your super chat. Now that we have seen that, why it is not coming from the great scholar of Islam, we need to see where we can find the things of marriage and all that. So now let's go to this. When did Hamza died? Now this is what we need to see. When did Hamza died? That's first, and that is where we will going to see the age difference of Muhammad and Hamza. This is again, let me show you. This is again the same book, Mustadrak al-Salihin, the same book, right? Volume number 4, and we are going to page number 381 of this book. And it says very clearly over here that Hazrat Umru said, according to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 4892 hadith number. Okay, min shahada Badr, in the martyrs of the Badr, Ma Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib, was Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib. Okay, and he was killed Yawm Uhud, on the Uhud, at the time of Uhud, the battle of Uhud. Okay, and at that time, when he died in Yom Uhud, his age was Arba wa Khamasin, 54 year of age. He was 54 year of age. So Hamza was 54 years of age when he died at Uhud. Now let's do some mathematical calculation. Okay, to see the age of Muhammad. Now I'm going to go to an Excel sheet. Let's go to Excel sheet. All right. Hamza died at the age of 54, right? And the year is 625. That is the year when the Battle of Uhud happened. Okay. Year of the Battle of Uhud. Uhud battle, which happened in 625. Now, Muhammad died at the age of 62, and at that time, the year was 632. So between 625 and 632, how many years are there? 7. I don't know why I did that. So I should do this minus this. So 7 years. So if we have to add 54 plus 7, right? So here we see, why am I adding some? That he was at least, so Muhammad has to be what? 6, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31, 32, 33. So Hamza is supposed to be 61 years of age or 60 years of age to reach at that time. So by default, Muhammad is over a year or 2 years older than Hamza, right? Agreed upon? Now we go to another reference. That is why they are claiming it to be 2 to 4 years. This is again Al-Musnad Imam Al-Hakim, and here they say that the marriage of Abdul Muttalib with Hala and the marriage of Abdullah happened in the same majlis. In the same majlis. This is hadith number 4877. 4877 hadith. And basically, by this logic, Muhammad has to be born at least 1.5 years after or 2 years after Hamza was born, not before, not before that. But when we look at in the literature, for example, the first seerah of Muhammad, the Siratun Nabi by Ibn Ishaq, this is the first seerah. This is page number 68 of the life of Muhammad. Here it talks about the marriage of Abdullah and Abdul Muttalib. Okay, the same marriage, and they commit. It is alleged that Abdullah consumed his marriage immediately, and his wife conceived the apostle of God. And the wife, when the wife consumed the prophet of God, means the prophet of Allah, means Muhammad. His father went away for a business. It is alleged in the popular stories that Amina bint Wahab, the mother of the God apostle, used to say when she was pregnant with God's apostle that a voice said to her, "You are pregnant with the Lord of this people, and when he is born, say, I put him in the care of the one from the evil of every envier." Then called him Muhammad. As she was pregnant with him, he saw a light come forth from her by which she could see the castles of Busra in Syria. Wow, that's a separate thing. Shortly afterwards, Abdullah, the apostle of the father, apostle's father, died while his mother was still pregnant. So, apostle's father means Muhammad's father died while Muhammad is still in the mother's womb. If she is still in the mother's womb, if Muhammad is still in the womb of his mother and his father died right after the marriage, right after the marriage, it means the pregnancy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has to last for bare minimum 2 years or 4 years, depending on which narrative will you actually take. Because of which narrative you will take, it will be either 2 years or 4 years. For fixing this problem, because this is a big problem, Islamic narrative actually created a huge thing which is called the time of pregnancy. How long a pregnancy can last. This is also there in Qurtubi 13:8, Surah number 13, verse number 8. And it says, how long a tol mudda, the time, how long a girl al umrah can remain a hamila, can remain a pregnant. Okay. In this scenario, we can see that there are six narratives. The narrative number one is the maximum period of pregnancy, it is usual, which is 9 months. But the second narrative is 1 year, which is the view of Muhammad ibn Abd al-Hakim and was chosen by Ibn Rashid. But forget it, these are small names. The bigger name comes in the 2 years, which is the Hanafi school of thought. So Islam has four major school of thoughts. One is Imam Abu Hanifa, which gives you the madhab of Islam of Hanafi madhab of Islam. The second is Shafi, then Hanbali and Malikis. So the narrative of 2 year is only accepted by Hanbali school of thought. If you look at the narrative of the Shafi'is and Hanbalis and the Malikis, they say 4 years. So I am taking the lowest reference, which is Hanafi school thought, which is 2 years. But the three other major school of thought actually takes the narrative of 4 years, which is the view of Shafi'is, Hanbalis, and the Malikis. So all three rest of the school of thoughts actually says that a woman can remain pregnant for 4 years. For 4 years. There are other narratives as well, because they don't want to stay to four, because the problem is that if Muhammad was born 4 years after that of Muhammad, that is why death of his father, that is why you guys are saying 4 years. What about 5 years? Let's do it 5 years so that people will not say we made it four because of Muhammad. So there is 5 years narrative from Imam Malik. Then there is a 6 year narrative from Az-Zuhri and Maliki. And then there is a 7 year narrative according to some other narrators, and Al-Zuhri and Malik is the top ones from there. And then there is another narrative that there is no limit to the pregnancy, and the woman can be pregnant for 10 years, for 12 years, for as long as it can be. It does not matter. So Muslim scholars actually created stories after stories to defend the narrative of the death of Muhammad's father and his birth, because all the stories are telling you something different. Let me show you another tafsir. This is Sira, the life according to At-Tabari. So Tabari also narrates in his book, page number 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, page number 8, Life History of At-Tabari, volume 6. And it says, Abdul Muttalib was the handsome of the men of Quraysh. They told Amina bint Wahab of his handsomeness and his appearance, and he asked him if she would like to marry him. So she married him. He consummated his marriage to her, and she conceived the messenger of God. Abdullah father, Abdullah's father sent him to Al Madinah for provisions. Where he died. So right after the consummation of the marriage, Abdullah was sent for some business trip, and at that location he simply died. So Abdullah died when his wife was pregnant, and he consummated the marriage on the first night with Amina. Why do we say he married on the first night? This is very important, because all of these references will tell you the same thing. Look what he's saying later. Okay, so now there is an error view of Abdullah, not this one, but he's talking about that his son seeking a wife for his husband, then they were married at the same time. So they were married at the same time. I have no issue, because previously they were saying he did not, but a little later, but whatsoever. He's saying this is the correct view, but I have no issue with that. Forget that. Now we will see another very strange story here. First, we will look at this story from Siratun Nabawi, which we read, but we ignored it a little. Let's go to Sirah ibn Ishaq. And he says that Amina bint Wahab, the mother of Apostle of Allah, used to say when she was pregnant with Allah's Apostle, that a voice said to her, "You are pregnant with the Lord of the people, and I put him in this care," etc. Then called upon Muhammad. As she was pregnant with him, she saw a light come forth from her, by which she could see the castles of Busra in Syria. So when she was giving birth to Muhammad, what happened? A light came out of her. A light so bright came out of her, which lighted everything till Basra. And where is this light coming from? Obviously from where Muhammad was born, obviously, because this was Muhammad whom he apparently had the light, that, you know what I mean, right? So I don't have to go into details of that particular aspect. So we see that the marriage was consumed on the same day. Marriage was light on the same day, and there was a light that was coming out, and that light was in who? In Abdullah to begin with. Let's look at another Sirah. I'll show you another Sirah now. This is Sirah ibn Kathir. And it says, then Abdullah passed on with his father, who married him to Amina, the daughter of Wahab, and he stayed 3 nights with her. Then he had an urge to accept the woman's offer. So there was another woman who wanted to have sex with Abdullah. So 3 days later, Abdullah had the urge. After consuming the marriage with Amina, Abdullah, the father of Muhammad, was a very, very sexy man. He had the urge to go to another woman for ding dong. Woman's offer, because another woman offered him to have sex with her. So he went to her. Well, what did you do after seeing me? She asked, and he told her. She then said, okay, now what is happening over here? So the Abdullah, the father of Muhammad, went to another girl 3 days after. That girl who actually asked Abdullah to have sex with her, and Abdullah denied it. This is written in the previous lines. It doesn't matter. And Abdullah denied it. Now Abdullah 3 days later, after consuming his marriage, going back to the same woman, hey, let's have sex. So that woman said, hey, what did you do in these 3 days? And Abdullah told her, hey, I had a marriage with Amina and I had sex with Amina. Okay. She said, by Allah, I am not a woman of doubtful morals. Okay. You are not a woman of doubtful morals? Seriously? Like, you are calling somebody to have sex with you and you are not a woman of doubtful morals, but fair enough, doesn't matter. But I did see a light in your face and I wanted to be in me. I saw a light in your face which I wanted in me. But God refused to put it in anywhere other than He wished. Guys, you understand what's happening? So they are justifying the immoralities of Abdullah and the other guy, other girl, by saying that that girl actually saw a light in Abdullah, which when he performed the sexual intercourse act with Amina, that light transferred into Amina, and that light was Muhammad. And that light came out of Amina, which lighted the Basra, which went all the way to Basra. So we conclude by these things, even though this is very immoral things, we conclude that Muhammad was consumed on the first consummate. Abdullah consummated the marriage on the first day, and then that light moved from Abdullah to Amina. Hmm? Brother Sam, how are you? God bless you. All right, Brother Sam is going live after some time. So yeah, I will publicize your video as well. After how long are you going live? Okay, you have a lot of time, so no worries. We have almost 45 minutes. I think Brother Sam has to wait for some people to go over there. I need to finish this. So that light which was in Abdullah moved inside Amina on the first night. Now we have no doubt that Abdullah, who was the father of Muhammad, consummated the marriage on the first night. If he had consummated the marriage on the first night, and Hamza is either 2 or 4 years older, bare minimum 2, the pregnancy has to last for 2 or 4 years, or we have to assume the worst. And what is the worst? Me and Rob Christian did a video long time ago. That video was done in May 2021, and we showed you some narratives. And in the end, we showed a single narrative. Listen.
So they had to invent all this kind of nonsense to sugarcoat the istibta' product of his time, Muhammad, their prophet, to cover it up, to make Amina's pregnancy sound legit, the 4-year pregnancy of Amina, to make it sound legit, they had to invent all this kind of nonsense. Do you see it, Brother Adam? Can we make that conclusion? That's why, right? They have to, because they're prophet. It's a disaster. Disaster, man. Basically, Muhammad is nothing but a bastard. A bastard, right? He's a bastard, son of a bastard.
And by the way, this is, you guys already know the story why Muhammad is supposed to be said that he's 4 years born 4 years after the death of his father, right? because of Hamza.
Yeah.
Because Hamza, just FYI, for the people who does not know the whole narrative, why we are showing you this. Hamza is the son of Muhammad's grandfather. Muhammad's grandfather and Muhammad's father were married with two women on the same day. And Hamza was supposedly 4 years older
Mm.
than Muhammad in multiple Sahih hadiths.
Mm.
Now, so Muhammad was born obviously then 4 years after, because Hamza is 4 years older, because
Yeah.
both of them were married at the same time. But right after the marriage, Abdullah had to go away for tijara. And during that time when he was away, he died in the
Mm.
traveling. He died in
Mm.
the traveling. So
Mm.
now basically, Amina either had Hamal, means pregnancy, for at least 4 years,
Yep.
or somebody did istamda with
Istibda.
Amina,
Istibda. Yeah. Yeah.
istabda
Yeah.
with Amina to bore Muhammad,
Exactly.
or Muhammad was literally in the tummy of Amina for 4 years. So you take a pick.
Yeah.
So you take a
Pick your
pick now.
cherry. Yeah. Pick your cherries, basically. Exactly.
So either you are a Muslim following Imam Hanafi, Maliki, Hanbali, or Shafi, and believe that Muhammad was literally in the tummy of Amina for 4 years, or Amina had to go to another man to bore Muhammad. So now
Yes.
it's your pick.
Yeah. So basically, you know, to not look like a fool, right? Because no medical scientists or scientists, modern scientists in 2021 would confirm a 4-year pregnancy, in this case, Amina. It's a disaster. I mean, else you need to tell or say that Amina is a female elephant. I mean, maybe Muhammad's mother was an.
Now let's talk about female elephant. This is this is what we have done long time ago. And by the way, I can give you the reference of this link as well, so you can watch it at a later time. And Rob Christian is also here. This is with me and Rob Christians. Long time ago, we did that. And I have shown you the minimum narrative is 2 years. Even with 2 years narrative, which is just one of the four school of thoughts we accept. And I just showed you the minimum because I don't care. Even with the minimum is pretty bad. So now we see Qurtubi. So Tafsir al-Qurtubi, this is Urdu. Instead of going to Arabic, I have an Urdu translation, which is my mother language anyways. So I can read from the Urdu very fast, right? And I can show you what they are saying. So let me go to, and it also says the same thing, but let's see. Let me go to the exact location. There is a difference in opinion in the maximum length of pregnancy. The and the first one, they are saying that the pregnancy can be 2 years at max. 2 years at max. And this is also stated according to Darul Qutni. But Jamila bint Saad and Ubaid bin Saad, the sister of Ubaid bin Saad, Lais bin Saad, said that the longest pregnancy has to be 3 years. But Imam Shafi radiallahu anha says it has to be 4 years. But Imam Malik, in one of his Rawaya statement, says that it is 5 years. And then one more Rawaya is that this is 10 years and maybe more than that. And then Zohri said it is 6 or 7 years. And Abu Umar said, according to the companions of Muhammad, that the age of pregnancy is 7 years. And Imam Shafi said many ages, but the last of which is 4 years. So this is Tafsir al-Qurtubi as well, which is giving you all the narrative of all these people, which are the companions of Prophet and the Sahaba and the uh, early Muhaddisine Islam. Very sharp men, very intelligent men, and they are all talking about pregnancy to be this long. Why? They have to justify the pregnancy of Muhammad. Then say, they tell you some historical stories. One of the story is, according to Darul Qutni, Walid bin Muslim gives you a story narrative that Hazrat Malik bin Anas stated that Hazrat Aisha reported a hadith. Okay, Hazrat Aisha reported a hadith which is narrated by Hazrat Malik that the age of pregnancy cannot be more than 2 years. That's Hazrat Aisha saying. But he said, Subhanallah, who says it? This is my Londi. Londi means right hand possessed slave woman, which is the wife of Muhammad bin Ijlan. She becomes pregnant. She becomes pregnant and always give birth after 4 years of pregnancy. And she is a very truthworthy woman, and her husband is also very truthworthy, and she has been pregnant for 3 times in 12 years, and every time her pregnancy lasts for 4 years. And Mubarak bin Mujahid stated and said that it was very famous that this wife of Muhammad bin Ijlan, who gives birth after 4 years, we used to call her Hamilatul Fil, pregnancy of an elephant. We used to call, I'm sorry, I tried to be as, sorry, I tried to be as mature and not having a laughter, but like I couldn't stop myself right now. we we used to call her Hamilatul Fil, the pregnancy of elephant. And Rob Christian just said it is not elephants. I'm sorry, guys. I tried to be very non laughing in this matter. We are discussing the birth narrative of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But whatever. Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. Let me go back. Let me go back to my very serious mode. And then there is another rawaya, another statement that one day Hazrat Malik bin Dinar was sitting, and a guy came to him and he said, "Eh Abu Yahya, oh Abu Yahya, my woman is pregnant from the last 4 years. Please pray that she is in extreme pain. She's in extreme pain, so please pray for her." Malik became very angry. He became very angry. And he said in angry, he closed the Musaf of Quran. So he was reading Quran, he closed it. He closed it, slammed it. Does these people of our think that we are Ambiya, we are prophets? Are we prophets? But yet he prayed. Then he prayed, "Eh Allah, oh Allah, if this woman has gas in his tummy, then remove that gas." At that time, people did not had Tums or Hajmula. So there could be gas which could be in the tummy of the woman for 4 years, and she could be really big tummy due to gas. Okay. She had a gastrous problem, okay? So Malik bin Dinar, oh man, sorry. So Hazrat Malik bin Dinar prayed, "Oh Allah, if this woman has gas in her tummy, please release the gas. Please let her fart." Okay? And if this woman has a female child in his tummy, in her tummy, if this female has a female child in her tummy, convert the female into a male and release the male. Okay? Because you give what you want and you do what you want and etc etc, you have the mother of the book with you and etc etc. Hazrat Malik raised his hand and people raised his hand and they were praying. A guy came and said, your wife has some problem, go. So the Malik bin Dinar is praying and the people are praying, and a messenger came and he said to the guy, hey, your wife has some problem, go. That guy went away. Malik bin Dinar did not put his hand down yet. Okay, he did not put his hand down yet. That on the face of the mosque, a guy came, the same guy came, and he had a child on his shoulder. He had a child on his shoulder who has curly hairs, and he looked approximately 4 years old baby. And this 4 years old baby has all of his teeth, and his tummy, that cord of the tummy was actually cut, and it was still attached to him, cut but still attached to him. Man, imagine that. 4 years old. You know how big a 4 year old child is? You know the shoulder length of that child? You know where he has to come out? All of the woman knows where the child has to come out, and even the male knows about the 4 years old child with the hairs and all of his teeth. How is he going to suckle the milk out of the mother? I don't know. But came out of that tiny little hole. Okay. And yeah, uterus, sorry, that was my bad translation. Uterus, like, yeah, you see what I'm saying. Okay, don't go for the words. Okay, but but this is how it is happening. Okay, why are they giving these kind of stories? Defending the birth of Muhammad. Another one, a guy came to Hazrat Umar bin al-Khattab. A person came to Umar, the second Caliph of Islam. A guy came to Umar bin al-Khattab and he said, "O Amirul Mu'mineen, O Caliph, I have been away from my woman for 2 years. I've been away from my woman for 2 years. When I come back, she is pregnant. How is it possible? She is an adulterous woman." Hazrat Umar wanted to do rajam with that woman. He wanted to kill that woman by throwing stones at her. But Umar talked with people. Then Hazrat Muaz bin Jabal said, Hazrat Muaz said to Umar, "Eh Amirul Mu'mineen, O Caliph, even though you have all the right on this woman, but you have no right on the tummy of this woman." By the way, it says pate, tummy. It doesn't say uterus, okay? FYI. It says tummy. Leave her so that she will show what is her pregnancy. So Hazrat Umar left her alone and she gave birth to a child which has her front teeth visible. So the front teeth of the child were visible. The guy who came to Hazrat Umar looked at the child and he said, "I swear by the Lord of the Kaaba, this is my son." Hazrat Umar never said, "Woman can never give birth to a guy like Muaz." If Muaz was not there, then Umar would have died, because Umar was about to kill the lady, and Muaz said, don't kill her, let her give birth. And when the guy was given birth, the father said, he looks just like me, and he has 2 teeth in the front. He is a 2 years old guy, so this is my. And the name of this guy, we'll see. Sahak said, my mother gave birth to me while I was 2 years in her tummy, and when she gave birth to me, I had teeth. And Imam said that he was also 2 years in the tummy of her mother. And according to one of the statements, 3 years. As Muhammad bin Ajlan said, I was in my mother for 3 years, and her mother died, and they had to cut the tummy of the mother of Muhammad bin Ajlan to get out, and he also had his teeth. Is it just one story or so many of these stories? Muhammad bin Ajlan, Sahak, another guy, come to Umar bin Al-Khattab and all that. There are so many narratives. Haram bin Habban is said Haram because he was in the tummy of her mother for 4 years. And Sahak was for 2 years. And he had teeth. And that is why his name was Sahak, because he was a child who was smiling. A smiling child with teeth. And Abbad bin Awam said that our right hand possessed Londi, slave girl, gives child every 4 years, and the child's hair are usually till his or her shoulders when he gives birth. These are the stories they are mentioning. Why? Because they have to defend the pregnancy of Muhammad. They have to defend the pregnancy of Muhammad in his tummy. So you see the narrative of 2 years, and you see the narrative of 3 years, and you see the narrative of 4 years. Why? Because if we take certain stories of the birth of Hamza and the death of Hamza, he was approximately 2 years, because March and May, and add a few months and etc. So approximately 2 years older. And then I was doing the calculation in AD instead of Hijri. So it's approximately 2 years. But at the same time, there are other narratives which says 4 years. So they have to provide enough sources to the illiterate men at that time, that they have to agree and acknowledge that Muhammad did in fact stay in his mother's tummy for so long, because so many other people can be born after such a long time. That's the basic narrative, why we have these many stories, and why all the scholars of Islam actually talks about that the haml can be, the pregnancy can last for 2 or 4 or 5 or 6 years, as I have shown you in the article already. Let me show you the article one more time, that you can see how these people are saying the pregnancy, the longest time a woman can stay pregnant. And this is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, and there is no limit. But now what happened is, according to modern science, this is not possible. We know according to modern science this is not possible. Hence the Muslim scholars have come up with a new narrative which you cannot find anywhere else. This is Yusuf al-Gohar, Muslims do not like him. They hate him. But he's giving a new narrative. In his video, which is called Muhammad ki Wiladat ki Hakikat, the truth about the birth of Muhammad, he gives another great narrative. Because without this narrative in today's world, when the science has given you all the references, then it is not possible that a child can be in the tummy of the mother for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. It's not possible. So they have to define a new narrative based on the light of Muhammad. I have shown you the light of Muhammad was in Abdullah, and then Abdullah, when had sex with Amina, the light moved to Amina, and when Amina was giving birth to Muhammad, the light shined so bright that it lighted the Busra. It lighted all the way till Busra, like good 800, 900 kilometers away. Okay, so now with all that, we have a new narrative, and this new narrative is to exalt Muhammad spiritually, not by doing this that the pregnancy can last for this long. Let's see what he says. This guy Yusuf Al Gohri is in UK. He's a Pakistani. So this video is in Urdu. I will going to try to do justice with the translation as much as I can. He has already spoken for over 41 minutes, and I'm going to play this for the next 10 minutes only or less to give you the total narrative, because he tells you so many lefts and rights and all these kind of stuff. But this is the ending where he finally explains everything. So you have two narratives, O Muslimin. You can either accept the narrative of your early scholars. And what are those? Malik, Imam Hanbal, Imam Shafi, Imam Abu Hanifa. So you can either accept these, one of these four scholars, the Muhaddiseen Islam, or you can accept the new narrative. There is no third narrative in this whole story. So let's look at this second narrative, which is a very latest narrative. Look what he says.
हुजूर की अजमत कहाँ है? इमामुल अंबिया हैं, अजमत कहाँ है?
So he's saying, where is the exaltation of Muhammad Hazur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? He is the Imam, he is the chief of the prophets. Now, before that, he tells Muhammad was poor and all that. He did this, and people used to do that with him, and all. So he gives a whole story. And he said, we don't see the azmat of Muhammad. We don't see the exaltation of Muhammad in the life of Muhammad. Where is he? Where is the exaltation of Muhammad when he is the top or Imam or the teacher or the master of the rest of the prophets? So where is it? Let's listen next.
अजमत यहाँ है.
Here is the exaltation of Muhammad.
एक दिन जिब्राइल बीबी आमना के पास आए.
One day, Jibrail, the angel Jibrail, came to Hazrat Amina, the mother of Muhammad,
और उनको कहा
and he said to her,
कि मुझे अल्लाह ने भेजा है
I have been sent by Allah,
और आपके यहाँ विलादत होगी
and you will give birth
अल्लाह के महबूब की.
to the beloved of Allah.
आपके यहाँ
You will give birth,
विलादत होगी
give birth
अल्लाह के महबूब की.
of the beloved of Allah.
उन्होंने कहा कि मेरे शौहर का तो इंतकाल हो गया.
And she said, my husband has already died.
तो जिब्रील ने कहा कि अल्लाह करता है जो कुछ भी वो चाहता है.
And Jibrail said, Allah does whatever he wants to do.
अल्लाह करता है जो कुछ भी वो चाहता है.
Allah does whatever he wants to do.
सफेद रंग का एक मशरूब जिब्रील अमी अपना साथ लाए.
Jibrail brought a drink which was white as milk.
सफेद रंग का एक मशरूब जिब्रील अमी अपने साथ लाए.
Jibrail Amin brought a drink white as milk with him.
और उसमें शिजरतुन नूर का एक बीज डला हुआ.
And in that drink, there was a seed which was taken from the Shajratun Nur. Nur means light, Shajara means tree. So that milk kind of a drink had the seed of the tree of the light. So there is a tree of light. The seed of that tree of light was in it.
क्या?
What? And everyone else is saying the Shajratul Nur, the tree of light.
आपने कुरान मजीद में पढ़ा होगा सिदरतुल मुंतहा.
You might have read in Quran Shajratul Muntaha, the tree of Muntaha. Tree of Muntaha is at the edge of the seventh heaven and the start of the Allah's place.
ये एक दरख्त का नाम है जो बॉर्डर पर है.
This is the tree which is on the border.
इस दरख्त की जो है ना जामनी रंग की पत्तियां हैं.
It has leaves whose color is purple.
हर पत्ती पर किसी पर मोहम्मद लिखा है, किसी पर अहमद लिखा है.
Each and every leaf has something written on it. Some has Muhammad written on it. Some has Ahmad written on it.
किसी पर महमूद लिखा है,
Some
किसी पर
has
हामिद लिखा है.
some has Mahmud written on it. Some has Hamid written on it. By the way, guys, just an FYI, these are the names of Muhammad. Muhammad also has 99 names, FYI.
समझे?
Do you understand?
यही वो नूर था
This was the light
जो आदम सफीउल्लाह को अर्श पर नजर आया था.
which Adam saw on the arsh of Allah when he was in heaven.
ये हुजूर का ही नूर था.
This was the light of Hazur Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
उस दरख्त से एक नूर का बीज तोड़ा.
Jibrail took the seed from the tree of light
और उस सफेद मशरूब में मिलाकर जिब्रील अमीन ने बीबी आमना को खिला दिया.
and he mixed it in the white drink and made Sister Amina drink it.
पिला दिया. उसके पीने से आप हामला हुई.
Because of drinking that drink, Bibi Amina became pregnant.
मोहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के वजूद मुबारक में अब्दुल्ला का नुतफा नहीं था.
Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not had the nutfa, which means the sperm of Abdullah. That's what he said. Muhammad Rasulullah did not have the nutfa, means the sperm of Abdullah, which is the father of Muhammad. Now imagine, guys, like I said, either you have to accept the narrative of your early scholars which says that pregnancy can last for 2 years or 4 years or 5 years or whatever, and the pregnancy of Muhammad lasted for at least 2 years, 1 year 9 months or something like that, bare minimum 1 year 9 months plus 3 months, and that is 12 months, basically 2 years. So it can last for 2 years. Okay, it can last for 2 years, or you have to accept this narrative. You have to accept this narrative. I've shown you already that the bare minimum narrative that is here in my Excel sheet, which I did already, we see, I don't know, why did I do that? Why did I remove that? So 7, and then we have to do this plus this, which is 61. So he was 1 year according to his death, plus add the 9 months of his birth, 9 months of the birthing of Muhammad. You have to add that part as well. And then you have to add March, April, May, June, 3 months more, 3 months more, 9, 10, 11, 12, so which is 12 months. So Muhammad was born 2 years after the birth of Hamza. 2 years after the birth of Hamza. So either you have to accept the basic narrative of Islamic bare minimum theory of Muhammad being born 2 years after the death of his father, which nowadays is not possible, or you have to accept the new narrative, which is that Muhammad was a miracle child. But that miracle, the definition of this miracle is very stupid as well, because Amina is drinking. So the tummy or the stomach has no connection for the uterus. The tummy has no connection for the uterus. None whatsoever, nada. So tummy has no connection. But somehow, because Amina drank a white drink in which there is a seed of the tree of light, and that seed from the tree of light made her pregnant. You gotta accept that, which is also very problematic. And then you have to say that Muhammad did not had any nutfa of Abdullah. Look what he's saying again. The last part I'm going to run again.
पर हामिद लिखा है, समझे? यही वो नूर था जो आदम सफीउल्लाह को अर्श पर नजर आया था.
This was the nur which Adam saw at the arsh of Allah before he was thrown into the earth.
ये हुजूर का ही नूर था.
This was the nur means light of Muhammad.
उस दरख्त से एक नूर का बीज तोड़ा और उस सफेद मशरूब में मिलाकर जिब्रील अमीन ने बीबी आमना को खिला दिया.
And Jibrail took the seed from that tree of light and mixed it in the white drink and made Amina drink it.
पिला दिया. उसके पीने से आप हामला हुई.
And because of drinking that drink, she got pregnant with Muhammad.
मोहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के वजूद मुबारक में अब्दुल्ला का नुतफा नहीं था.
There was no seed. I'm going to use the word seed, but nutfa basically means sperm. No seed of Abdullah in Muhammad. So either you have to accept this narrative of this guy, Yusuf al-Gohar, or you have to accept the narrative that I showed you already, which is acknowledged by your early Muhaddiseen Islam, the scholars of Islam. The choice is yours. I'm not saying you accept Yusuf al-Gohari, because most of the Muslimin do not like him, and I know that. I know they don't like him. I know they hate him. But at least he's trying to show you a miracle, because if we go to the 2 years pregnancy or 3 years pregnancy or 4 years pregnancy, as we have seen, it is not possible. And that is why, where did Yusuf al-Gohari taking this? He is taking this by accepting the narrative that when Muhammad was born, the light came out which enlightened till Basra from the VJJ of Muhammad's mother when Muhammad was being born. But he is ignoring the fact in the same book. It is in every book basically, but in the same book, like this is, I'm opening Siratun Nabi by Ibn Ishaq. This is also there in Tibri as well, and in Ibn Kathir. It says, it is alleged that Abdullah consummated his marriage immediately, and his wife conceived the apostle of Allah. Then he left her presence and met the woman who had proposed to him. He asked her why she did not, let's read, make the proposal that she made to him the day before. So it is not the marriage proposal, it is for the sex proposal. Okay, as we read in the other location, it says Abdullah after 3 days went to the same lady who wanted to have sex with him because he was tired and he wanted to go back to her. And he said, why are you not giving him the same proposal which you give before? To which she replied that the light that was with him the day before had left him and she no longer had need of him. She does not have the need of him. Same story in a different way. I have showed you in the tafsir, the history of At-Tabari. Let me show you again. Muhammad's father was a very ding dong guy. Abdullah passed on his father's marriage to Amina, daughter, etc., and stayed there 3 nights with her. Then he had the urge to accept the woman's offer, another woman, which is written in the previous lines, but I'm not going to read all of that. So he went to her again just after 3 nights of banging Amina. He went back to the woman who had offered him for sex. Well, what did you do after seeing me? She asked. The lady said, to who? Abdullah. What did you do after I asked you to have ding dong with me? And he told her that I married and I had sex with Amina. She then said, by God, I am not a woman of doubtful moral. Dude, you are a woman of doubtful moral, you idiot. But I did see a light in your face and I wanted that to be in me. She wanted to have sex with him so that the light would come in her. So you have to either accept these narratives, but from the same book, he is taking the narrative of the light, but he is not accepting that narrative of the light as it is shown in the early tafasir, in the early siras of Muhammad, the life stories of Muhammad. He's not accepting them. He's accepting portions of it, but he's trying to make a new narrative. Why? Because we all know that it is not possible for a woman to remain pregnant for over 4 years. Aliko, thank you so very much for your super chat. We have an Australian $5. Wow, we are being watched in Australia. Thank you so very much. I hope you liked the live stream. I've explained a lot of stuff today. I hope you liked it. John Hilbert gave a $5 super sticker. Thank you so very much, John. Hilderbrand. Hilderbrand. Yeah, if I'm saying the name right this time around. I'm sorry for the names. Names are pretty difficult for me. But thank you so very much, my friend, for your super chat. So, I would say to the Muslimin and the scholars of Islam to stop dancing like a monkey. And accept what is written in your books. You have to accept it. The reality is that Muhammad was not a legitimate child. Muhammad was not a legitimate child. He was an illegitimate child. And as we have seen in the early parts of this same video, people were accusing him of the lineage, of his lineage. They were accusing him of his lineage and they were calling him a bastard. I'm sorry, excuse the language, but they were calling him a bastard. And Muhammad was so angry of the tribal lineage of the people because he had none. He said, go bite the peen dash 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 nas of your father to anyone who is going to say that his tribal lineage or his ancestry lineage is exalted and mighty. So anyone who would come to Muhammad and say that his tribal lineage is exalted or his tribal lineage is mighty, Muhammad said to him, go bite your father's private part. Go bite your father's private part. This is in Musnad and Ahmad. Go bite your father's private part. Thank you so very much, Islamo Kafir realist. for your super sticker. This is Musnad al Ahmad. Go bite your father's private part and do not use a metaphor. So basically, go literally and bite your father's private part. That's the reality. Why would Muhammad be so angry on somebody? Why would Muhammad be so angry on somebody who would say who would go to such an extent that he would go to such an extent of telling them to go and bite the private part of your father if he has no issue in family lineage? You see the problem. Oh, by the way, there is another hadith in Al Adab Al Mufrad. Wow. Our sister just gave it to us, Sister Carolina. Just send this link over there as well. I'm going to show you as well this one because this is in English and in sunnah.com. So this is even better. Thank you, Sister Carolina, for showing this. By the way, I did not know that it was there in sunnah.com as well. Whoever attributes himself in the lineage with an attribution of the Jahiliyyah, then tell him to bite his father's male organ and do not speak figuratively. And do not speak figuratively. So you actually have one of the hadiths, not the Musnad Ahmad hadith, but the other hadith, you actually have it in sunnah.com as well. And it says, bite the father's male organ. And by the way, even this hadith, which is not of Musnad Ahmad, but rather it is of Al Adab Al Mufrad 963, this is also proclaimed to be Sahih. So Muhammad was so angry when somebody exalts himself by his tribal lineage that he would ask them or tell them to go and bite your father's private part. Why bite the private part? So bite and remove it, like take it off. Why take it off? Because he wasn't a legitimate child. I'm not saying that. All of these things are proving one after another. One after another. It's proven. Thank you so very much, Sister Carolina, once again for this particular reference as well. God bless you, sister. You are doing a great job as being a moderator, Sister Sweetie G. Thank you so very much for your for being here and showing support and doing the moderation in my channel. Appreciate all of you for your love and support. As always, as I pay you nothing for doing so many things, and I appreciate that. Protestant believer, it does work. When you click on the link, the dots is next to 12. So after 12, remove the dots and you will be able to see that. By the way, Sister Carolina, when you put a link, after the link, when you put dots, make a space before you put the dots. Otherwise, the dot will become the part of the link. And Protestant believer, our brother, just cannot even remove the dots, man. Seriously, Protestant believer, brother, you gotta be a little bit sharp over here, man. Come on, don't do this with me. So now, before I go away and close my live stream, I just wanna show you one more thing: how scared these Muslim scholars are in Pakistan from me. They are so scared. They are so scared that they are removing my videos to be played in Pakistan. As some of you know, that I have another channel and I'm working in Pakistan and India as well in my other channel, which is called Aram Seeker Urdu. Today I did not even play the banner. This is the banner that I used to play in over here, which tells everyone about Aram Seeker Urdu as well. Anyone who is Urdu speaking or Hindi speaking, this is my channel. I work over there as well, and the Pakistani government is so scared of me. How much so? Let's check it out. They are removing my videos. Video number 1, the heaven of Muhammad, removed by Pakistan. The content has been blocked from view on the following YouTube country site: Pakistan. Second video, Allah Nabi Muhammad, Allah is the prophet of Muhammad. Third video, do not laugh. Fourth video, Lakshman or Muhammad. Fifth video, Muhammad bended his knees to Christians. Sixth video, Kalma ka matlab, what is the meaning of Kalma? Seventh video, how did Muhammad die? Eighth, Muhammad was a bisexual. 9, let's talk. Islam is a false religion. Ummi Nabi Muhammad, Muhammad was Ummi. Omnipresent Muhammad, Muhammad is present everywhere. Quran, how did Quran came from the sky to earth? And we are talking about breastfeeding adults. Next, Muhammad's Allah is Satan. Death of Muhammad, how did Muhammad died? Was Muhammad kafir before 40 years of age? Discussion with Salman, Fiqh, Hadith and Quran, part 3. Ammi Muhammad and her Hamal, the mother of Muhammad and her pregnancy. I kind of shared something similar over there. Happy Shab-e Miraj. The Miraj is blessing of Shab-e Miraj to all of you, O Muhammadans, in Urdu. I did that live stream over there as well. It is also blocked in Pakistan. Hazrat Abu Bakr ki muhabbaton bhari zuban, the loving tongue of Hazrat Muhammad, Hazrat Abu Bakr. All of these 21 videos that has been blocked in Pakistan, none of them were my words. These were the videos which I showed with reference. When Abu Bakr said, go suck the clitoris of Allah to those people, I showed the ahadiths, what it says, why Abu Bakr is saying, what a lovely tongue of Abu Bakr is, which is the companion and the first caliph and the father of Aisha, whom Muhammad married at the age of 9, is saying, Muhammad is saying, go bite your father's male organ, and Abu Bakr is saying, go suck the clitoris of Allah. These are the beautiful words that these people were saying, yet they were exalted, loving, and everyone. And these people are blocking my videos in Pakistan. They want Pakistani Muslims to have eyes shut. They want their eyes to be shut and their ears to be closed. They do not want their Muslim population in Pakistan to see the reality and the truth, what is in their own books. Because Pakistan is the next tsunami where people are going to leave Islam left, right, and center. And they are leaving Islam left, right, and center. That's the reality. They want to shut down all the voices which are showing them the reality of this deen, this religion, this stupidity. This is why they want to stop our voices. And this is why every other day I receive death threats by the muftis. I receive death threats by normal people. I receive death threats left, right, and center. Let me show you another death threat that a guy proclaimed. This is in my channel as well. The title is Do Not Defame My Prophet. Do not defame our prophet. So let me just show you how these people claim to kill us. This is in Urdu once again. The English title, subtitles are in the bottom. So watch and enjoy and read the subtitles.
ये मेंटल डिसऑर्डर से आप लोग गुजर रहे हो सर। अरे
यार
सर इसी तरह आप जलील होते
समीर
रहोगे दुनिया में।
समीर
अबू सईद जी,
जरा स्क्रीन दिखाइएगा, छोड़ दे सर,
अबू
स्क्रीन
सईद जी,
दिखाइएगा। लेट मी आंसर हिम, स्क्रीन
आप पहले
दिखाइए।
हंस के दिखाएं।
ओके, ये हम देखते हैं सर। देखते हैं हंसी किसको आती है। अब मोहम्मद साहब के पास जब
मुझे क्या
डिवाइन
दिखा रहे हो,
देखा, पहले एकदम
तुम
आ
भी
गई,
हो,
फौरन ही
तुम भी
हंसी
इसी
आ
मजहब का
गई,
पार्ट हो।
फौरन ही हंसी आ गई, रिंगिंग ऑफ द बेल्स, टन
हाँ,
टन।
कंटिन्यू करें, कंटिन्यू
तुम
करें।
भी इसी
मोहम्मद
मजहब का
साहब
पार्ट हो।
के पास जब
अरे भाई
डिवाइन
सुन लो, कुछ दिखा रहे हैं, हमारी नहीं करते इज्जत, अपनी हदीस और कुरान की तो कर लो।
मोहम्मद साहब के
कुछ
पास
कुछ
जब
बता रहे हैं
डिवाइन
तुमको।
रेवलेशन आती थी ना, डिवाइन रेवलेशन, तो वो कैसे आती
हाँ
थी? वो आती थी लाइक द रिंगिंग ऑफ अ बेल। कैसे? टन
जी,
टन 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 टन
मुझे लगता नहीं कि तुम मुसलमान थे,
टन
तुम
टन
ईसाई हो गए।
टन
अगर तुम
टन
ईसाई हो
टन
तो तुम वाजिबुल कत्ल हो।
टन। यार ये वाजिबुल कत्ल तो हम हो गए, कत्ल कैसे करेंगे?
नहीं नहीं
अरे
वो बात नहीं
कत्ल
रहेगी,
तुम्हारी मुंडी
बात
अच्छा
उड़ाएंगे जैसे मुर्गे की उड़ाई जाती है।
मुंडी उड़ाएंगे। ओके
अच्छा अच्छा।
ओके। यार जो आप मुर्गे की तरह उड़ाएंगे, ये किस छुरी से उड़ाएंगे?
अरे तलवार से उड़ाएंगे तुम्हारी गर्दन, और कैसे।
लेकिन यार मुर्गे की गर्दन आप तलवार से उड़ाते हो, छुरी से उड़ाते हो?
अरे बगदे से उड़ाते हैं उसकी गर्दन तो।
किससे उड़ाते हैं?
अरे बगदा जो होता है, जैसे जो कसाई होता है काटता है,
हम्म,
मीट काटता है जैसे।
अच्छा तो आप उस बगदे से उड़ाएंगे?
हाँ उससे भी उड़ा सकता हूँ, तलवार से भी उड़ा सकता हूँ।
अच्छा 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 अच्छा। तो ये आपको किसने सिखाया है कि ईसाइयों की गर्दन उड़ानी है बगदे से?
ये हमारी शरीयत का हिस्सा है, जो हमारे मजहब के अगेंस्ट बोलेगा उसका हम यही हल करेंगे।
सही सही सही। तो जो कोई भी आपके मजहब के अगेंस्ट बोलेगा, आप उसकी गर्दन बगदे से उड़ाएंगे, करेक्ट?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
अच्छा
करेंगे, और
वो
हमें उससे फख्र है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
अच्छा
करेंगे, और
वो
हमें उससे फख्र है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
अच्छा
करेंगे, और
वो
हमें उससे फख्र है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
चले, फखर भी है आपको, माशाल्लाह, दैट्स गुड। तो वो जो बगदा होगा सर, वो तेज होगा या तेज नहीं होगा?
अरे वो तो सर आपको तब पता चलेगा ना जब आपके गर्दन पे चलेगा वो।
नहीं नहीं, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ ना कि आप जब लेके आएंगे बगदा गर्दन उड़ाने के लिए, तो वो बगदा जो है, वो छुरी जो है, वो चाकू, वो तलवार, वो तेज धार वाली होगी या गलत तेज, ना तेज होगी?
अरे सर दाइश की वीडियो देख लीजिए, पता चल जाएगा आपको कितना तेज होता है।
अच्छा, तो तेज धार वाला होगा, यानी कि आप तकलीफ नहीं होने देंगे, फौरन से पहले गर्दन उड़ा देंगे, करेक्ट?
हाँ बिल्कुल।
अच्छा, उसके बाद बॉडी के साथ क्या करेंगे?
बॉडी पड़ी रहेगी, सड़ती रहेगी, चील कौवे खा जाएंगे आपकी बॉडी।
चील कौवे खा जाएंगे। तो और ये सब आपके शरिया का हिस्सा है?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, जो हमारे नबी की शान में गुस्ताखी करेगा उसका यही हाल करेंगे।
उसका भी यही हाल करेंगे। चले सर, माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह। सर ये जो शरीयत आप बता रहे हैं, ये किस इमाम की शरीयत बता रहे हैं? अशाफी की बता रहे हैं, हम्बली की, मालिकी की, किसकी बता रहे हैं?
सर मैं तो हम्बली हूँ, लेकिन मुझे ये नहीं पता ये किस इमाम की शरीयत है, लेकिन ये इस्लाम का हिस्सा है।
इस्लाम का हिस्सा, यानी कि चारों इमाम इस चीज को मानेंगे, क्योंकि इस्लाम का हिस्सा है तो चारों इमाम मानेंगे।
बिल्कुल, इमाम हम्बली, इमाम अबू हनीफा, इमाम शाफी, मालिकी सब मानेंगे सर।
चारों के चारों इमाम मानेंगे। ठीक है, तो यानी हर क्रिश्चियन जिसने कहा हो कि नबी पाक जो है वो एक नबी नहीं है, झूठे नबी हैं, आप उसकी गर्दन उड़ाएंगे?
नहीं, अगर जब वो गुस्ताखी करेगा, जब वो
झूठे
गालियां
नबी
देगा
हैं,
या कुछ
कह
गलत
तो रहा हूँ झूठे
बोलेगा
नबी हैं,
तो
झूठे नबी हैं।
करूंगा।
हाँ,
तो
तो
भाई
आप
आप
करेंगे।
वाजिबुल कत्ल हो, अगर आप गालियां दोगे मेरे नबी को तो आप वाजिबुल कत्ल हो मेरे
तो
नजदीक, तो आपकी
गाली
गर्दन
में क्या क्या
पे।
शामिल है ना, गाली में ये शामिल है कि हम उनकी हदीसें पढ़ रहे हैं और उनकी हदीसों में उनको ये टन 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 आ रहा है, तो वो वाजिबुल कत्ल बन गए हम।
हाँ हाँ, तो हदीस तो वो वाली हदीस ना पढ़ो। कौन कह रहा है
अच्छा,
पढ़ने को?
सही
वो
सही सही
मुफ्ती
सही
पढ़ेगा, मुफ्ती पढ़ेगा उसको समझेगा, आपको क्या जरूरत है वो पढ़ने की।
सही। हम पढ़ेंगे तो वाजिबुल कत्ल हो जाएंगे, मुफ्ती पढ़ेंगे तो वाजिबुल कत्ल नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि वो इस तरीके से नहीं पढ़ेंगे, वो बड़े प्यारे तरीके से शुगर कोट करके पढ़ेंगे, करेक्ट?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
लेकिन लिखा वही हुआ है, पढ़ने का अंदाज फर्क है, एक
लेकिन
मुर्तद के
आप
पढ़ने का
लोग का
अंदाज फर्क है।
इंटेंशन तो गुस्ताखी करना है ना,
नहीं
आपका
नहीं,
इंटेंशन तो इविल है,
नहीं हमारा
दैट इज
इंटेंशन तो
व्हाट योर
शो करना है
इंटेंशन
ना,
इज।
हमारा तो इंटेंशन शो करना है कि असल में लिखा क्या हुआ है, राइट?
No, no, you are just defaming the Islam and the Prophet of Islam. That is why you created this channel and spreading shit out here in this
अच्छा,
YouTube
राइट। सो
channel.
ये आप असल में 5:33 को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, बेहतरीन हो गया। यानी कि कुरान भी कहता है कि अगर प्रॉफिट साहब को कोई डिफेम करे तो उनकी गर्दनें उड़ा दो, उनको क्रूसिफाई कर दो, उनके हाथ पांव काट दो और उनको ये सब कुछ कर दो। करेक्ट कह रहा हूँ?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
चले, माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह। तो पहले तो आपको हमें ढूंढना पड़ेगा अब।
अरे सर बता रहे हैं ना, आप ही सिर्फ सोर्स नहीं रखते हो, हम लोग भी रखते हैं।
बिल्कुल ठीक
ये
हो
मत
गया।
सोचिए कि
तो
आपके
जब
पास
आप,
ये सिर्फ
जी जी,
लिंक्स हैं।
कोई मसला नहीं सर। फिर आप हमें ढूंढेंगे, ओके, पहले आप हमें ढूंढेंगे। उसके बाद अगर हम किसी ऐसी कंट्री में हुए जहां का लॉ आपको इजाजत ना दे कत्ल करने का, फिर क्या करेंगे?
हाँ हाँ, तो सर मुसलमानों की आबादी तो हर जगह है ना। नॉर्वे में जब वो कुरान जला रहे थे तो उस आदमी का क्या हाल किया था उस मुसलमान ने, देखा था आपने?
नहीं, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, लॉ
नॉर्वे में
अगर लॉ लॉ इजाजत ना दे, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि लॉ अगर इजाजत ना दे तो फिर आप क्या
लॉ
करेंगे?
जाए भाड़ में ना, लॉ की हम लोग परवाह ही नहीं करते। अगर कोई गुस्ताखी करेगा तो उसके घर से निकाल के उसको मारेंगे।
अच्छा, लॉ की परवाह नहीं करेंगे यानी, और फिर चाहे लॉ पकड़ के आपको फांसी लगा दे या जहर का टीका दे दे
कर
या
दे,
इलेक्ट्रिक चेयर में
कर
बिठा
दे,
दे,
कोई कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, जन्नत जाएंगे। कर
उठा
दे,
दे,
कोई कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, जन्नत जाएंगे।
जन्नत जाएंगे।
जरा
जन्नत में आपको
रस्सी कर
72
दे
हूरें
सकते
मिल
थे।
जाएंगी फौरन।
वो सब मैं नहीं जानता, लेकिन मैं इतना जानता हूँ कि वाजिबुल कत्ल है जो जो गुस्ताखी करेगा।
चले सर, बेहतरीन हो गया। समीर साहब, अब इनको निकाल दें प्लीज। अब
नहीं,
अब इनको
अब मैं
अब इनको
इनसे
मुर्तदों की ताकत देखने दें कि हम कितने आराम से इनको थक। Alright, so you just watched it. I hope you enjoyed it. Why the people of Pakistan are blocking my videos, why I am receiving death threats left, right, and center. This is just not just one guy in my Urdu channel. I just upload just a few of them in English in my Urdu channels or in the other channels of ex-Muslim where I go live and debate with these people. I receive these threats every other day. It is now a constant threat. It's not something that I would say, oh, wow, I just received it for the first time. Wow, I should be scared. It's just a norm for me now. Such a huge norm in Pakistan. And my videos are still running in Pakistan. I have been shadow banned, I think, in Pakistan because now where I used to get 1,500 to 2,000 viewers, now they have reduced to maybe 1,000 to 1,200 live viewers. So it seems like I've been shadow banned, and plus my new videos are also not being uh, notified to the people of Pakistan somehow. Very few people who just knows that I go live at this time, they just come in and do that. They just join my live streams, but still my videos in my Pakistani channel being watched for good 15,000 times, 20,000 times and all. Previously they were like 28, 30,000 times, and now it's a little reduction, but I think people will keep on sharing my Urdu videos in Pakistan and India, and I will still receive good audience because people are leaving Islam left, right, and center, and that's the reality. With that being said, I would like you all to like and share the videos, spread this information, spread this loving messages of everyone. At the same time, our brother Sam is already live. He was supposed to go live maybe around 15 minutes before from now. So, anyone who would like to listen to our brother Sam's, he is talking as part two of the James White Apologia Church Mormons debate review. I did another video earlier today, and he is doing the second one. So whoever would like to get in-depth study of the biblical scriptures and the debate review, they can all go over there. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you so very much for liking the video. Please, after I end my live stream, put a comment. Each and every comment gives a push to the video to go to the appropriate people. Like the video because Muslims love to dislike the video. They love it. So you should like it. And if you do not like a part of the video, please tell me in the comment. I will try to make it better next time. We are all learning. You are learning, I am learning, we are all learning. I try to do the best. I try to show the exact sources where they are. I try to give you the articles. A lot of things I can just do based on the articles, but when I just show the article, people can say the articles are wrong, something is wrong. I try to show you the exact sources as much as I can in one video. There are so many videos, there are so many sources. Instead of showing you 4 years, I showed you 2 years, because even with 2 years you have a problem. A pregnancy cannot last for 2 years. I haven't even shown you the 4 year narrative. If I show you the 4 year narrative, that's even more disturbing, right? So even with the 2 year narrative, the problem is the pregnancy cannot last. So Muhammad was an illegitimate child. So please like and share. You guys have social media platforms. You guys have Facebook. You guys have WhatsApp. You guys have so many platforms. Do not hesitate to share my videos. That's the final request that I have for you guys. I am doing my job. You guys do your job. If you guys cannot come out and speak and you guys have not studied, the best thing that you can do is to share my videos, like them, and put a comment. Because if you have watched my videos, you can put comments in the live stream. You can obviously put a comment after the video in the comments as well. So thank you so very much. That's all I would like to say today. God bless you all. Have a blessed day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And go to Brother Sam's channel for the next video. He is always doing an excellent job when it comes to biblical narrative. God bless you all. Yeshua Akbarul Azim.